Hi there. Welcome to Small Business Coffee Break, the video series where we take a few minutes to work on your business, not just in it. This week, we ask Pete De La Torre from the Business Forum Group at Doral, what is synthetic networking, and what is networking the right way? Pete has over 15 years of experience helping businesses grow and collaborate. So grab a cup of coffee, and let's get into it.
Right? I am shocked today, and I can't believe that through all of the things that have gone on in the business world and technology, that today the majority of people that join organizations like chambers really do not understand what networking is all about. They walk in there because their boss told them, "I want you to represent our companies and go get new business." But they're walking in there, they haven't the slightest idea how to really network, and they end up just trying to sell. I mean, just pulling out, all the coats, and I want to sell you insurance, or I want to sell you a printer, and it becomes an environment, and that's turned off a lot of people. They don't want to go to an event where everyone is just trying to sell to them. It's become a me situation, and it's what I call synthetic networking.
That's a great name for it, I think, because it feels kind of like it's just happening, but not necessarily accomplishing anything.
Right. So getting back to the incubator, you got to feel inspired. You got to be in a situation where you're inspired that you want to grow, and growing isn't easy. Growing is challenging, right? But if you are have a passion for what you do, and you can get into an organization that will not necessarily make it easy for you to get in front of people, but also will challenge you, okay, because the growth is challenge and it's not always easy. That's really what you want, okay?
You described people networking the wrong way. What's networking the right way?
It's about relationships, and relationships is a two-way street. It is about focusing on the other person, okay? Getting comfortable with getting out of yourself. Instead of going there where I got to get so many cards and I've got to sell, I got to make sure that people understand all my 25 products and services. Okay? It's focusing on the other person. It has to be a win-win situation. Okay? I stumbled into networking like 25 years ago. You'd be surprised to hear this, but it's the last thing I ever wanted to do on the planet, was to go to these events and talk to people and all that. Thank God I really didn't know what I was doing, okay? Because I remember the first event I ever went to, okay? It was in the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce, all right? And I walk into this room, it was a dealership that no longer exists, and it was like 100 people in the room. It was a very small area. There was only one door in and out, okay? I really didn't want to go to this thing, but I went and I opened the door. I was in the insurance business. And I don't know if the name tags were bigger those days or my eyesight was better, but I scanned immediately. There was like 8 other companies in there, and what made it worse is that 5 of the people in there were from my office. Oh. So I'm walking there saying, who am I kidding here? I don't want to be here. Look at all this. How fast can I get out of here, right? But everybody kind of looks at you and you just walked in. You can't just turn around. So I just started to go to people and say, hi, how are you? I see your name is Jack. Nice to meet you. My name is Pete. What do you do, Jack? Well, I do this. I tell you what, I want to interact with some more people here today. Can we set up a coffee meeting? I want to know more about what you're doing. And if you don't mind, I'll share what I do and let's see what happens. And that was my approach. And it worked, and I didn't even know what I was doing. So I think, to get to your question, it's about other people, focusing on them first. And that starts the relationship, which is what networking really is.
If I can give one tip, that I'm not usually, I'll agree with you. I got into an industry that requires this kind of work, and I would never have thought in a million years that this is what I'd be doing. If there's any one tip that I'd give, when you're walking into a room and you don't know anybody, and your intent is to build a long-term relationship with that group that you're going to, walk in with the sole intent of meeting other people and learning about them. That is it.
That's it.
That's all.
That's
you
all
have
you
no other agenda that day but meeting like-minded individuals and having conversations about them. And you would be surprised how often the conversation turns to about you. Because once you've given your ear to other people, it's amazing how the much more willing they become to give you theirs.
People, one of the underlying most effective tools in networking is to remember that people love talking about themselves. So give them that opportunity. And then it breaks down the walls. You know what I mean? Once those walls start to crumble down, a lot of good things happen.
Yeah,
Okay, because then you take down and go, okay, they're really interested in me. It's not just about them. So it's, you know, relationship building happens over time. You don't create a relationship on the first meeting. You maybe can break down the walls a little bit where there's a sense of trust there, okay? And it's like you said, if you go in there with the right intent and the right mindset, people will read that. Yet if you go in there with the intent and the mission of selling, they will read that too, and trust me, you're not going to get very far in that conversation.
Well, you know, I'm, you know, what I do for a living is probably, you know, number 3 on the list of things that people like to make fun of. You know, lawyers, auto dealers.
Yeah, here comes that insurance guy again.
Yeah. So by default, since I didn't know what I was doing, I learned to try to invest in other people and found how interested they were then to learn about something I had to say.
Absolutely.
If you have any questions for Pete, his contact information is in the description. If you have a question you'd like me to ask Pete or any other business professional, leave a comment or shoot me an email, which is also in the description. See you next week for another cup of coffee and more questions answered.